Greetings Masala followers, I am in Birmingham at an animal hospital run by the RSPCA, and which is one of the largest animal welfare charities in the country, one of the oldest charities as well, and does a fantastic job in protecting animals, educating people and organizations about animal welfare, and really kind of helping us to have a very positive relationship with animals. Now, the other side of the Indian community in Britain is that they come from a culture of very strong compassion for animals. There is a, if you look at the Sikh culture, the Hindu culture, the Buddhist culture, the Jain culture, they have a deep respect for all living beings, including animals. So there is a theory of compassion, and here is an organization which is actually practicing that in a practical way and promoting good behavior, good conduct towards animals, good methods of caring, and at the same time dealing with situations where animals are in trouble or in difficulty or in pain. With me, I'm fortunate to have Herschy Boal, who is an inspector here in Birmingham, and does a tremendous job in practicing those kinds of stories. Herchy,
hello.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you and where are you from, and how come you're doing this job?
I'm originally from Leicester, born and bred in Leicester. I've been working for the RSPCA now as an inspector for 10 years, all in the Birmingham area. Just from when I was very little, from when I can remember, I had a real passion for animals and animal welfare. Used to bring animals home, much to the disappointment of my parents, and really wanted a dog or a cat or some sort of pet for a long time. So I've sort of grown up, wanting to work with animals and just have a real affinity with them. So I joined the RSPCA 10 years ago, and as I say, I've been in Birmingham ever since.
What is your job as an inspector? What do you do?
The main purpose of my job really is to educate people, help give advice where and when needed, and on the other side is also prosecute where it's needed really. So the main message of the RSPCA is to promote kindness, educate people. It's a preventative measure more than anything. But I deal with in an area where there is a very large community of Asian people, sort of Aston, Handsworth Wood, Great Bar, and it's really important to try and get the message across in those areas for me.
What is your experience of the Asian community and their relationship with animals in your patch? What is your experience? How do they?
When I started 10 years ago, I was seeing a lot of Asian people keeping animals, and there always had to be a purpose there. So there was a dog, it was kept in the garden, and it was a guard dog. It had to serve a purpose. If anybody had a cat, the cat was there as to control mice. As time's gone on, there is now more, the second generation of people, say my age, are starting to keep animals as pets. So there's been a minor change in that.
Look, what we've discovered is it's actually a very scientific organization, an organization which is professionally run and managed. And when you take account of that scientific approach, when there is an understanding of the nature of animals, the problems animals face, the kinds of issues relating to animal welfare, not all faiths may have a theory about care and compassion, but they wouldn't have a practical understanding nor a scientific knowledge about animal welfare and animal diseases, etc., etc. So I think there is a need for a marriage between the two, and there is a need for people who deal with animals to have a scientific understanding, and that's where, of course, your role is very, very important. And that's also where these messages can trickle through into the community, so that people can care for animals positively and practically, and at the same time enjoy their company.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if people were more aware, did a bit of research maybe, if you're gonna decide to buy a dog, get a puppy, check out what breed of dog it's going to be, find out how big it's going to get, because it happens all, this is something that obviously everybody does, doesn't matter what culture or colour they are, they buy a dog, don't realise it's going to be a big dog because they buy a German Shepherd puppy, say, or a Labrador, and then when that animal grows too big, you know, it suddenly they don't realise it was going to be that big. And you know, I would encourage anybody to make sure that they look at what goes into the responsibility of having that animal. When I was younger, I grew up with it. You know, we had a dog in the family. There were many a cousin's weddings that I missed because of having a dog at the house. My parents used to go to the weddings, and I had to stay at home. I had I've got a lot of relatives in the Birmingham area, and obviously I lived in Leicester, and there were many cousins' weddings that I missed because we all couldn't go for the night. You know, we had a dog, and I always stayed at home. You know, so to look after that dog. So you have to make sacrifices. That, not just financial ones, but certainly with your time.
Also, I guess one of the things about it is this is not India, this is Britain, that there is a law about animal care and compassion, which people have to adhere to.
I'd love to get that message across that, you know, just please be aware that you take on a huge responsibility, even having, you know, as cute as this kitten is now, this will grow up and be responsible for lots of litters of kittens if it doesn't get neutered. And that has a knock-on effect, and it has a big effect on the community too, because the cats that are straying, you know, they will go into bin bags, they look for food, and it's not just as simple as you put food out. You are responsible for the cat's food, water, providing it with shelter, and any veterinary treatment that the animal needs, be that a cat or a bird in a cage. So it's a wide responsibility.
So what are the consequences? Can somebody go to prison if they don't?
Yes, you know, unfortunately, if you are, you know, interviewed by the RSPCA, there's and animals are removed from your property and you fail to get them treatment, depending on how severe the case is, absolutely, the sentencing in court does hold up to 6 months in prison and up to a £20,000 fine, and it would be an awful thing through sort of almost lack of education or just an ignorance of the law or the responsibility, because I don't for 1 minute believe that, you know, the Asian community is a compassionate community. You know, we're very involved, and there's the teachings of all of the texts do say that, you know, there's compassion for animals, and
diet is quite vegetarian as well.
Absolutely, we love animals, and I think it's just understanding that, you know, if your cat gets sick and it gets injured or hurt, you have to take it to the vet. That is a legal requirement, and you could find yourself in trouble just for not doing that, because the animal will suffer. You know, animal gets sick, you know, it needs to go to the vet, or, you know, us ourselves, we go to the doctor. So, you know, it's just making sure that these little fellas are looked after, really.
Very good. I mean, if any Masala viewers is interested in the RSPCA and wants to become a member, or wants even to donate to the RSPCA to support the excellent work that you're doing, how do they go about it?
They can either contact our headquarters at in Herschy. There is an RSPCA website that they can also obviously go and look at. It's extremely easy to find, you know. It's at rspca.org.uk. So, and look out for their local. This is, you know, we're at Barnes Hill today, which is the animal home in Birmingham. Or you can contact me, and I'll happily take donations. But you know, it's we want to help. You know, we want to work with the community and help them. And the RSPCA is very understanding of the cultural needs of lots of different, you know, communities.
So how can people become volunteers, say animal lovers like you, become volunteers or even possibly inspectors or work for the RSPCA?
If they want to come and volunteer, we have many animals here, lots of dogs that need walking every day. If they want to volunteer to do that or get involved with looking after animals, it's exactly what I did when I was 14. They can contact the animal home here at Birmingham Wheelie Castle. If they are looking for a career within the RSPCA, again, look at the website, contact our headquarters, and, you know, more than happy to have as many people as you know, as we can to do what I've been doing for 10 years, and I love it.
Fantastic. Well, Herchy, you are an Indo-Brit who is a great champion for animals in this country. We are very proud to meet you and to hear your story. Keep up the excellent work, and for all you Masala animal lovers out there, remember, there are many people around this country who are like you, who love animals and respect animals and care for animals, and keep up the good work and make sure that the message of care and prevention spreads far and wide.